Are any of you over the age of 10? Come on, raise your hands up. Okay, that is probably everyone, right? And what about 30? Come on, don't be shy. We won't judge you. And what about 50? Okay, and what about 80? Well, so there's no one here, right? But we all hope to get there one day. And so over a year ago, I noticed that my grandpa was suffering from knee pain. And after asking, he told me that he had tried a variety of products, but none of them helped relieve the pain. And so I asked the first question: could I create something to help him? But then I dared to ask an even bigger question: can I create something that could help thousands of people who are suffering from similar pain? I mean, Elon Musk is talking about colonizing Mars. Surely we can do something on planet Earth which is as simple as this. It is a given that as people age, the probability of getting diseases increases as one's immune system becomes more vulnerable. One day, even you might find yourself in the situation immobile and suffering from muscle degeneration or pain in your lower limbs. And so, I wanted to create something that could free patients of this debilitating, everlasting burden. Think exoskeleton. What comes to mind? Is it a fancy humanoid robot? Well, no. An exoskeleton is anything that provides external support to the human body. And the easiest example would be a walking stick. And so before I created my very own exoskeleton, I went around various nursing homes and found several common flaws. They were too expensive, hard to monitor, and immobile. And there, I had found my goal. My goal was to create an exoskeleton that was a lightweight, cheap, and user-friendly. And so came the hardest part of this project. As a professional told me that creating a brand new exoskeleton from scratch would be almost impossible, I chose to assemble my exoskeleton from various pieces of existing medical machinery, and this would create the basics. And so after the mechanical parts were completed, I went on to making my exoskeleton more user-friendly. And so now, think AI. Well, at first, I wanted to create an AI integrated system. Sensors would be applied onto the user's muscles, and the data would be sent to an AI agent who would analyze the data and provide feedback at the end. But then I thought, why not leverage AI? And thus, with the help of AI, I was able to create an application that would help users throughout the recovery process. The application would provide real-time feedback, words of encouragement, and a report at the end of training sessions. And so after months of trialing and adjusting, I was finally able to create an exoskeleton of my own. A prototype, if you will. But despite the fact that I accomplished my goals, there were still several flaws. Firstly, as I used a passive force load to raise the patient's legs, the force would be redistributed onto the patient's lower backs, and this would cause pain after lengthy use. And secondly, as I used AI to analyze the data, as I didn't have a broad enough database, the results given would sometimes not be that accurate and precise. However, throughout this process of thinking, asking, and executing, I learned a lot. I not only learned about the rehabilitation industry and problems within, but also how everything is possible and how everybody has the capacity to innovate. And so if you were there to ask, you might even become the next Elon Musk. My name is Olav, and thank you.